Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, a veteran in this channel, welcome back for yet another exciting episode of Risk, Money and Insurance. And so today I am dressed for the occasion because Heritage Month was up. And I'm super excited. I'm out here with my vendor dress. It's so beautiful. I love it. And so let's get into today's video, right? So today's video we are talking income protection, and just as another disclaimer, contents of this video do not constitute as financial advice. If you do need financial advice, please speak to a registered financial advisor, right? And that will be someone registered with the FSCA, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. And so let's just dive into income protection. And I think honestly, when it comes to income protection, the importance of having like an income protection surfaced during COVID, where people were getting retrenched and all of that. And it's just like, oh my God, how do I now, protect myself for such things? How do I protect myself in case something happens for me or something happens to me and all of that? And also just understanding what is covered and what is not covered. For example, like you cannot take early retirement, for example, wishing to receive a benefit from your income protection cover. So it's also these little things that you need to take into account. And for some contracts, they might actually say, well, retrenchment is not covered. So in as much as you do have an income protection, they might actually say, well, we don't cover retrenchment. So it's also important not only to know about income protection, but to understand like what is covered, what it entails and all of that. So now let's dive into it, right? Income protection, what is covered? So the main goal is to replace your income, right? In case you are unable to work due to you being disabled mainly, or like you being involved in an accident, or like if you fall ill for whatever reason and you can't work. So this type of cover is specifically designed to give you your income for that particular period. So what actually happens is that you can actually fall sick, or you're unable to claim, but after recovering, you have the opportunity to actually then say, well, I'm going to return back to work. So then they stop paying you that monthly income that you will be receiving from your policy. So it's important to understand, what is covered and what is not covered. And there are some instances where, for example, they might decline your claim. For example, if you were involved in extreme sports, so you got disabled because you were bungee jumping somewhere, right? The Soweto Towers or wherever, and it just happened to be a bad day and you end up in a wheelchair or whatever, and you can't work anymore. So for such cases, they might actually say, hey, we don't cover that. And I also mentioned in the beginning that they might actually say, well, we actually don't cover like retrenchment as well. So if you are retrenched, then they might not cover you. And it's just a thing of understanding what is covered and what is not covered. And normally with your income protection, you would get this as part of the group benefits or the group life cover that you get at work. So it's important to go back to your employment contracts and understand whether there's anything that they're saying about disability cover and all of that, because it can happen. We never know. Life is so unpredictable. Something might happen to you and you might not be able to work anymore. So you need to make sure that you are covered, because if you're not able to work today and you rely heavily on your income, then it becomes a problem. And I think this is also just another case, for why you should have multiple streams of income, because at the end of the day, if you're relying heavily on one thing, if we take away that one thing you're relying on, then how do you ensure that you're able to stay afloat? How do you keep the boat, afloat? And so there are things like, okay, you can get temporarily disabled, right? So you are disabled for a couple of months, and then afterwards you're able to go back to work. And then there are some which is like permanent disability, where it's just like the doctors have already like said like there's no way that you're going to recover. So then in those situations, instead of them giving you like an income until you get better, they end up just giving you a lump sum to say, well, this is the money, go sort yourself out with this kind of money and all of that. So it's also important to know and understand the terms and conditions, and also know like how much you covered for. So normally, because they want to encourage you to go back to work, they won't necessarily give you like they might give you your full salary, right? Salary for the upcoming for like a few months or so, and then afterwards they might give you like 75% of your income before you were disabled, just so to encourage you to go back to work. Because if we give you more money or we give you the same salary, then you won't have the incentive to go back to work. So it's things like that you need to take into account. And I hope this clarifies things, and you will be able to also just go back to your employment contract and understand like, am I covered? What is covered, what is not covered? And if they've given you like a summarized version of the cover, it's always a good idea to contact your HR department and understand what is exactly covered and what is not covered. And for someone who is self-employed or whatever, and you just want to have this income protection cover, then it's also a good idea to talk to different insurers and find out how much premium they'll be charging you per month and all of that, since you won't have those employers group benefits that people who are employed might actually have. So it's quite important to be able to know, or like have that peace of mind knowing that should anything happen to me, I am covered. And also what they might give you like additional benefits, like rehabilitation benefits, where they take you to physio or whatever to help you like recover and go back to work like as quickly as possible, which is amazing, because if such things are covered for, you might actually not have the money to cover that yourself. So it's quite important to be able to get those rehabilitation benefits to help you to get better and get back to work and like continue with your life. But overall, that is all I wanted to say about income protection covers. And if you have any questions, drop the question in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Mwah. I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, bye.